What is up, you guys? So today we are going to be talking about one of the most important things you need to be constantly doing in Evony, and that's farming resources. There's a few ways to do it, there's a few safe ways to do it, and there's a few dangerous ways to do it. Today, we're going to talk about them all. Let's get into it. All right, so we're getting into our account. Looks like I got signed up for Battlefield. I got in a little bit earlier, and I think I read all. Oh, cool. So, I have not been on this morning. Today is one of the days where I woke up, immediately started getting involved with the kid and with the wife, and started, just getting on with my day. Did not get into to Evany yet. A few minutes ago, I collected my resources. I meant to do that on video. I'm sorry. So this is what I get from a T13 tile. I'm using 5 Jindoks, by the way. The T13, the level 13 tiles provide 5.8 million ore from the tile itself. I get a bonus because I've got a bunch of Korean sub-cities. And I get a bonus for having Jindok. Yeah. Yeah. So, even though I'm not going after T14 tiles, I'm still making about 50 million resources I think this is 4 hours this takes. At that rate, you've got hundreds of millions of resource in a week. So the key to safe farming. Let's start with safe. There's a few things that go into this. First off is server politics. If your server is constantly at war and all these alliances that you have on your map, if they don't get along, you're not going to be able to farm resource tiles. You need a stable server environment to be able to farm. Otherwise, you're going to have people hitting you on resource tiles. So that's factor number 1. Do not farm if the server is not stable. How do you know if the server's stable? In most servers, you need to be part of the top 10 alliances to be involved in the alliance politics. For our server, it's the top 5, and that's because we're a very, very old server. As the server gets older, you'll have very powerful alliances start to merge, and that number will go down, much like in our server. It'll probably go down to like 5. Sorry, that was distract. What? Weird game glitch. Let's see. Let's bring in 42 million power. Ooh, against 59. So I recently got zeroed because I had some account issues. I thought I shared that and I didn't. I know it was like 140 kms out. There it is. So, farming. Your server needs to be in a stable position for you to be able to farm. Otherwise, you're going to be hit on resource tiles. When you get hit on resource tiles, there's a very, very good chance that your troops are going to be killed, which means they're going to go to the Holy Palace instead of the hospital. It means that you're going to have to grind a lot harder to get those troops back. The last time I got zeroed with about 1.5 million troops, and like 700,000 of them were unrevivable. I still came back to the game with like a 70 million power, ability, but I'm nowhere near where I should be for my age, for my maturity, for my time in the game. So that's the danger of farming resource tiles in an unstable environment. Other things that are dangerous. Let's stick with the dangerous. Hitting dead keeps. So there's this guy up here, Island Warrior, somewhere. And it's like a K34 account that's been abandoned for a few months now. Someone may have hit it, may have moved. But hitting these other accounts hurts. Not only does it hurt you when you hit the person and you lose a little bit of troops just to their natural defense. Oh, no biggie. So yeah, my PvP reports aren't loading correctly. This is due to my having multiple accounts. One thing that the game does to really mess you up is they put all of your attack reports on one feed. So as I started getting alternate accounts, I started seeing my alternate accounts reports in my normal account reports. I may have mentioned it in another video when I talk about gem scams, selling accounts and alt accounts, that the game uses back-end tools to track down players that have alt accounts. This is one of the ways that they do it, and this is one of the ways that you can see that they do it. I was going to try to pull a PvP report from when my account got zeroed so you can see the damage. I'm not the type of player that's against telling you that I've made serious mistakes in my gameplay. I don't mind it. It's part of the game. That's how you learn. So yeah, I recently was farming dead accounts, and as I teleported next to the city, another person landed next to me while my troops were marching towards the city I was trying to raid. This particular tactic is either called doorstepping or a backdooring, depending on your server's particular lingo. The term kind of comes from you land on the doorstep of my alliance member and then I hit you. Or you land to go hit my alliance member and I land behind you and hit you from the other side, hence backdooring. This happened to me. And I got some flack in world chat because I didn't have a wall general on. Let's see if I have one on right now. I don't. I'm willing to bet you I don't. Oh, I do. Cool. But yeah, so hitting dead keeps can be a very profitable thing if you're trying to accumulate resources quickly. The danger is a lot of keeps will only have 8 or 10 million resources in them. I can get that off one tile in 3 hours. I don't need to risk all my troops and resources to get 10 million resources. What I used to do is I used to use another account and I used to scout keeps around the map so that I could see what was in there before I invested my whole account to go hit that. Unfortunately, this is a very common tactic and it's very tried and true. So what would happen is people would see my alt account jumping around, scouting people, and then people would start porting on my alt account and hitting the stuff I was scouting. So as your server matures, the resources available from other players is going to dwindle down to nothing. And what it becomes is you wind up trapping and hunting for massive resource gains rather than picking off players as they quit. I'm probably the weakest person on my server. General rank. Oh no, that's literal general. So that's how your generals compare to other people. My rank is going to be pretty low because I just recently started spending gems at the shrine. My power's not very strong. I'm not a very PvP power player. My alliance is cool, but I don't take credit in that. So let's just go to rank. F it. My weekly rating is 363, which is not good. I really like to be in the top 100. But what this shows me is that there's 363 active accounts on this server. 363 sharks in the tank. Be careful. It's a lot of eyes. A lot of people watching. Okay. Let's work our way to safe ways to gather resources. 1. The Alliance Farm. The Alliance Farm is one of the safest ways to farm resources. Because even if your server is at war with itself, this tile cannot be hit. So, I don't use the Alliance Farm much. If I were a more efficient based player, I probably would. But that's the Alliance Farm. If you have a Jindock, send a Jindock because you'll get a 20% resource gathering boost. That's the Alliance Farm. Very safe. You can upgrade the amount of Alliance resources. I think speed that it let's just go see. Yeah. So you can have your alliance do things like resource production speed. I'm kind of wondering why we have a level 2 alliance city. I thought we were level 3. It's concerning. But yeah. No, I don't want to demolish. This is a level 3 alliance sawmill. So this is what I was referring to. You need to upgrade this. If you're on a new server, you'll probably have a level 1 alliance sawmill. Safest place to farm. Least interesting place to farm, but the great thing about having a march on the alliance tile is that if someone starts hitting like a B12, B13, B14, B15, Viking level 40 plus, you can just pull your troops. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this little arrow button back. Do you want to recall your troops? Absolutely. Let's do it. Now in 8 seconds, I can resend those troops out to an alliance rally. Okay. Most common way to farm resources is from the farm, from the map. It's from resource tiles. I personally don't need T14 tiles to feel like I'm making gains. T13 tiles are a lot easier to find, and I would much rather send out 5 marches to T13 tiles than to maybe send out T2 T14 tiles and forget, to get distracted, have to go help the kid, whatever. It just strikes me as I need to send the troops out as soon as possible so that I don't get distracted by life and that I actually get the farming going. Because if I truly get distracted by life, I might not be back on the game for another 3 or 4 hours, and I would have another 50 million iron by then. if you're in a server where you have people that are very dramatic and they are, oh my gosh, I didn't set my buffs. I may need to call this back. Let's go take a look. We want to make sure our resource buffs here are set correctly. Ore gathering speed, cool. We want to go into our city buff, make sure we have all resource gathering speed still going, cool. Let's go to our shrine, make sure we got the resource gathering speed there done as well. Okay, cool, another 13 hours. I'm not donating 1,000 gems. And buff. City buff. Okay, but you know, while we're here, let's go ahead and do this. This is part of resource gathering. Make sure your 200% buffs are always done. We're going to use our last buff, and I'm going to show you how to compose those. Boom. So I just used my last in-city production buff. So now we're going to go to speed ups, which is here. We're going to go down to the stone production buffs, which is here. And we're going to go to compose. Boom. Boom. Problem solved. Easy as that. Nice. Leo just started a B12. Oh, I missed it. Okay, let's go to the 12. I'm definitely going to get in on the 12. I don't want to miss out on that. I don't want to use Nathaniel Green. I kind of want to use Emperor Quinn. The reason why I want to do that is because he has a better double drop rating. So, back to finding tiles. Thankfully, our buffs were done correctly. I don't need to recall that other march. Another tip. Only farm one resource at a time. You know, get to like 700 million ore and then switch over to stone and get to like 700 million stone and then switch over to wood and get to 700 million wood and then go to food. You always want to do food last because your troops will eat food. And it just adds a little bit of stress and anxiety to the game. So yeah, you want to do food last. And what you always want to do is you want to be checking what you have in your inventory versus what's on your top line to see if you can start building stuff. T13. Boom. I don't want to use those. I want to use all these layers. I don't like my layers just sitting in my keep. I feel like I don't use them unless I'm in BOG, BOC. So I don't want them just sitting here chilling. I'd rather them be out farming. And then if I need to pull troops, the troops I'll pull will be the big ones because I'm probably going to want to hit a B10 or a W1. Oh, Jesus. The main thing that you need to focus on is sending troops out all the time. Some people will set timers on their phone so that they wake up and they send troops out, or they excuse themselves from work and they go to the bathroom so they can send troops out. Whatever it takes, you need to keep sending troops out. Every 3 or 4 hours is another 25 million resources you're not getting. Even if you don't have Jindoks, 25 million flat. If you just got normal generals. Always have troops out. Boom. Kind of perfect. And so this is actually a good position to be in, because what I can do now is I can have the 3 farming troops out, and then I can have 2 troops for hitting big bosses. What I like to do is I like to search around the map and find all the big bosses and share them for my alliance. And then I only join the biggest bosses I find. I only join the cream of the crop. That's what I recommend. And then when you're about to get off the game for the next few hours, send those 2 marches out too. Hopefully by the time you get back on the game, your other marches have come back and you can start the process over again. Trying to think. If you're running out of internal resource production speedups, you can get them in the black market. So I'll refresh this till I get one. Yeah, why not? Here it is. So this is a stone. This is a level 1 stone resource production speed up. This will increase the amount of stone you make in your city by 100%, and you get 2 of them. Every 3 of them you can compile into 1 level 2 stone production thing. So you want to buy all those in the black market that you can. They're very valuable. Other thing, let's look at my resource tiles here. My internal resource tiles are mostly resource tiles. I don't need to mass produce millions of troops a day. I only need the 2 camps. A lot of people only have 1 camp. When I was first new to this game, I thought I would need like 50% camps so I could really put my T10s to work and, mass produce those T10s. Those troops are not valuable. You need T13 and T14s. Focus on resource production. Get all of these resource tiles up to 31, 32, as high as they can go, so that while you're not on the game, your city's making you resources. And then make sure your resource production buffs are always on. I think that's everything about resources gathering. One last thing. Generals. Queen Jindok. Very, very valuable. Princess Lucy, kind of valuable. She offers a pretty good buff. I think the other one's like Constance or something like that. I don't want to do that. I want to do that. If you cannot get a Queen Jindok, you need to get a Queen Lucy. Or where's Constance? There she is. Queen Lucy or Constance the First. After resource gathering, brings back extra 20% of resources from the world map. Resource spots and increases troop load by 20% when generals lead in the army. Very valuable queen if you don't have a Jindok yet. Absolutely, get her. Let's go look at Princess Lucy. Ironically, I actually have a Princess Lucy token that I don't want. Is she American? Why would she be American? Lucy. I'm trying to guess. Maybe other? Cleopatra's double boss monster. Attila's troop load. Princess Lucy, there she is. Increases resource gathering speed by 15% when generals lead the army. Again, maybe you're not getting extra resources, but you're cutting down that time. So yeah, those are the generals I recommend. If you're new and you're trying to farm, I highly recommend those 3 generals. Alts. You can farm with an alt account, and you can send those resources to your friends, or to your other account, for that matter, like this. So I'm going to send some resources to, let's see, where's Mac? Mac's a buddy of mine. Mac hits bot. Leo says too. Oh, I don't want to reinforce. Hold on. So if you're using an alt account, you can farm with that alt account, and then you can send resources over to your main account like so. So, Leo's hitting a bunch of stuff for us. So I want to pay him some iron just as a way to say thank you. Maybe it'll help him heal some of his T14 troops. Leo really does not like me donating resources to him. He'd much rather see me grow as a player, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm also going to do the same thing for Mac. Mac hits a lot of big things for me and for us, so I'm going to do the same thing for him. But you can see you do pay a small tax on the resources you're trying to send. So if you're going to use a bunch of alt accounts and you're going to try to send all those resources over to your main account, factor into your tax rate. I'm not saying don't do it. I think it's a great idea. I've had alt accounts before. I got caught. It didn't work out for me. Check out the other video about that. But yeah, that is resource gathering in entirety, I think. All right, my phone's about to run out of memory because I do this every day. So, all right, you guys, late, play on. Oh, if you got this far, please like, subscribe, and watch the other videos.